Hello, Nami.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Wow, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So, tell me, how was your trip back home?
It was amazing.
Yeah,
Really good.
very good. So, what did you guys do?
Well, it was all about Ivoire Foundation and
Okay,
all the program that we do have. So I organized the
okay,
boxing
okay,
gala.
okay. So we talk about Iraq. How do you pronounce the name?
Ivoire Foundation.
Ivoire Foundation. Yes, we'll talk about that. So you tell us all about the events. Uh, so how's your family? Your family back home?
Family is fine.
Very good.
Kids are amazing.
Very good.
Family is fine.
Yeah.
Family, mom, dad, sister, everybody's doing well. And my
Oh,
Ivoire Foundation family are
I
great.
I'm envious. I haven't been back home for now 8 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've not been back home 8 years. So, but I'm always on the phone with them all the time. Talk to my father, my sisters, my cousins. I'm always talking to everybody. So yeah. So tell me.
That's quite good.
Uh,
Internet and WhatsApp and video
yes,
calls,
yes,
they are an extensions of
exactly,
what we
exactly.
can get in
Mm,
our life to make it easier. So
yes,
it's okay.
yes. All right, all right. So let's start. Uh, Nami, so
Yeah,
tell my audience who you are and what you do.
yeah. Hello, okay. I am Namy Bak Sudjic. I am the president founder of Ivoire Foundation, and I'm a data analyst as well, an
Okay,
author and an entrepreneur.
very good, very good, very good. So, Eva Foundation,
Yeah.
tell me, how did it come about? How how has it been going? Tell us about that.
Well, Ivoire Foundation was something that I always wanted to do since I was really young, and
Okay,
seeing my dad helping a lot of people back in Segela, where I'm from. And because he used to be a teacher, we always had people at home that
same
wanted to
same
have
here.
education.
Very good.
People were staying with us, people from other villages that couldn't have a tutor to stay in a place for schooling. My dad would take them on. So we always had people at home, in a house. And it was amazing growing up with that feeling.
Yes, it
I
is.
loved it. So I decided to start Ivoire Foundation because I find a way where I wasn't kind of like a happy in my life, where I
Mm,
felt like there was something missing. So
mm.
it was a way for me to kind of like find that happiness
Yeah,
back there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna create Ivoire Foundation. I'm gonna start doing what my heart desire, what make me happy,
yeah.
and what I always wanted to do. And I'm gonna create Ivoire Foundation. I'm gonna help with education, health, sports, climate change, everything that I can help in a way, and in a broad way. And back home in Ivory Coast, because I left Ivory Coast, more than 10 years ago. So it was for me a way to come back as well. I have to come back with something. I couldn't come back empty-handed, or I have nothing,
Yeah.
to build on, to work on, to do. So that's why I created Ivoire Foundation in 2020, and I launched it in February 2020 in an Ivory Coast.
Okay. Okay. Wow. See, I like what you said about being a child of an educator. I am too.
Oh,
And
really?
oh, my
So
father
you see how
and
education is
mothers.
really
See, my
important, and
mother, my fathers, my uncles are all educators. And it's something I see when you talk about your father helping other people,
yeah,
exactly like mine. and it builds something in you.
Yeah.
And that's why I do the things I do, you know?
Correct.
Yeah. See, because once you are bit by the bug of helping people, especially when it comes to education, you know the value. Okay, you know the value, and you want to extend that value to other people. You know, so yeah, that's great. That's great. So
Thank
you
you.
founded it 10 years ago, and what are the main things that Ivoire Foundation do on a yearly basis?
Well, Ivoire Foundation is only 2 years. It's
Oh,
me
okay,
and I.
okay,
Sorry, let's play. Yeah, it's me that I came in this country more than 10 years ago.
okay,
So
okay.
I
Sorry,
was
yeah,
kind of, yeah, because I'm originally from the Ivory
yeah.
Coast. So 2 years ago, yes, I founded the Ivoire Foundation. So the main aims of Ivoire Foundation is to help improving our schooling system in Ivory Coast.
Okay.
So you see, at the moment, we do have some schools that don't have proper classes, proper, you know, furniture, proper seats, proper
Yeah.
roof over the head for proper
Mm.
study, education, like a proper system.
Yeah.
Some villages that are forgotten, I guess I can call.
Yeah.
Population is growing, villages are creating every time,
Yeah.
and their school. But if you go to those villages, the school is like, wow, and when 2023.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what I mean. So you can say, oh, why the government doesn't try to do whatever. The government cannot do everything.
Everything. Yes, that's true. That is very true.
That's where we as an organization, NGO, we stepped in and we're like, okay, let's bring up something. What can we do to help our country evolve as a citizen? What can I do to bring that, little push for that developing
Yes.
country continent. So
Yes.
those are kind of things that we, as people that are working with Ivoire Foundation, we want to do.
Great.
So we going to villages, seeing the schools and where people are really, really happy, but they it's difficult the way they're working, for
Yeah.
teachers, for students themselves, for studying. There's no electricity, or there's no proper way of focusing on their education. There's distraction around because there is that school that when we went there, the teacher was saying, oh, sometimes they got like a sheep or ghost, or sometimes coming in the classroom and everybody's like and that's the end of the teaching day, and people get up. Some kids go to the plantation or the farm to work with the family because they're so close around, and
Yeah.
because the parent don't even, it doesn't even give you that motivation to go to school because it's not welcoming. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to be studies already difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, go and sit in a place. So that place needs to be welcoming, need to be inspired, need to be, where you can find your way in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It cannot be a distraction. So we're trying now to improve those study conditions, those schools, and trying to, build them and replace them with proper education, building, table, chair,
Yeah.
kit, everything that supposed to be, adequate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like I said, my parents were teachers. They started teaching from my village, and
Yeah.
my primary one was done in my village. Back then, at least the equipment for students were
Okay.
good. Okay, but over time, it has become unbearable. They can't the classrooms, the tables, chairs has become non-existent.
Yeah.
Okay. In my village, we have 3 primary schools. Now, yeah, yeah. Baptist, CMS, and one down there. Yeah. So we have those schools, but the equipment in these schools are nothing. Okay. And unfortunately, the kind of education has been going down the drain. You know, so the work of your foundation will definitely help people in Ivory Coast. Okay, so what are the, how do you get funding for the activities that you guys engage in?
So at the moment, it's all private funding. Is myself.
Yeah.
I'm just doing all by myself at the moment.
Mm.
Like any NGO, any organization that starts or whatever,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know most of organization will start like that. I don't have a funding system, or I don't have a funding coming as, elsewhere, whatever. I just started because I said to myself, well, I don't want to wait until the right funding system is in place or somebody will come. No, I just wanted to start. I didn't know where that would come or whatever. I just said, you know what, I'm just going to start. There is never a good time.
Yeah.
There's not a perfect time for starting anything.
Yeah.
For me, it was just to start with what I had, with the little I had, because I knew the little I had could do a little bit more difference, could bring some differences.
Okay.
So as with those little, then I'm kind of like working all year, saving and going back home every July to start a little bit of activity. And that was kind of a problem. Now I'm going like twice a year now.
Wow.
So it's a kind of like the little I got, look at what I can do with. So imagine if I can get help or if I can get more. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you have to start. So I started like that, and I'm still going through the same process of myself funding everything that I do. I don't have nobody's funding me. I don't have any system, but I'm trying to apply for different funding resources, but it hasn't happened yet. But in the country, we do have a system as well where I can get help from the government, but you have to show your worth. You have to show
your activities.
Yeah. So it's a kind of like a walking process where maybe I'm sure down the line I'll get help, but for now it's all from my pocket. You can say that.
Well, it's like a journey of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start by yourself with your little money you can gather from family, from friends, your own savings.
Yeah.
And you start. Yeah. And you prove that your system works. Yeah. And then later some people can look at it and say, okay, this works, so let's put some money in it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're in the process.
Yeah, because it's in the same time as well, we want to create as well, like you said, entrepreneur, and help a lot of people as well, because it's not only education. We do have system with, entrepreneurship. We do have system with, health and so, because the countries, we're developing, but we're really far.
Yeah,
compared to Europe.
Almost every African country is on that part. Okay. Yeah. And that's why it's important that people like you who can do something, do it. Okay? Yeah. Because we cannot always wait for the government or a foreign NGO to see. You come from there. You know what your people need. Okay. And yes, I hope you get the funding you need. And I know for a fact that you can also with your activity, you can also get some funding from maybe the UK government, as long as you have proof of what you are doing. And that's why it's important that you go to Ivory Coast every year and do something. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're correct, because the foundation is registered here in Scotland, because
Okay.
I'm in Scotland, I'm in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
So, and I do, fill up my tax return and,
Yeah.
all those HMRC thing, how would you do
Yeah.
it? So this is right. Yeah, it's you have to have some kind of like a proof and an ongoing work and
Yes.
stuff like that for them to start looking at, okay, we can maybe try to help as well. But the things I want people to understand,
Yes.
I do not want to wait for any other foreign organization to come to our rescue. That's
Okay.
the kind of mentality we've been having since colonization, and now, because we're always playing that victimhood game, where we're always waiting for
Oh yeah.
the savior to come and
Yeah.
take us from our misery to brought us somewhere in the paradise that we're
Okay.
dreaming of. But this is never gonna happen if us as African, we cannot, see that as a problem and say, well, no, we can create NGO in our own country. We can start doing voluntary works. We can start helping each other. We can start doing all those things amongst ourselves. We do have some great institution there, government people, some wealthy people. If we put a little bit, if every single one puts something into the pot, we can use that to make some changes. This is
Yeah.
how Europe developed. This is how they work. So what if we just
Exactly.
do a copycat things and do the same things? Like, look, we can replicate the same here. We do have good people,
Yeah.
we're not that bad, and I know people say, well, African people are not nice, they're selfish, blah, blah, blah. I want to break that stereotype and say, well, let's try something where put ourselves in front of the mirror and say, look, what can you do? This is what I want to do. Can you help? At least try. That's my thing. So that's what I'm doing. I don't say everything is gonna be perfect or easy or whatever, but at least try.
Wow.
And you will see for yourself. That's my thing. That's how I go by. That's my mom.
Wow. Namy, you're making me smile. You're making
I'm
me
glad.
smile.
I'm glad.
What you just said is exactly what is going on. Okay. Many of us are waiting for things to be perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing is perfect.
Nothing.
Not anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're waiting for sentences to be perfect before you step in, then you are going to wait all your life.
Well, that's why we're behind. Look
Okay.
at other country,
Okay.
other continents, and look at our continent. But we're the richest continent on earth.
Okay.
That where God gave us this beautiful land, and we don't even know our own value. We don't even, realize that we got everything. We got better everything than anybody else, but we're just, playing with, and
Well,
that makes me
see,
sometimes angry.
that's why what you're doing in education, for me, education is the number one key for us to be able to get what we want to use to develop our continent.
Yeah.
Okay. Because without education, without science, you don't know what you have and how to harness it.
Yeah.
Okay. So as long as we are not educated in the things we do have, other people who are more educated on those things we have will come and talk to us in a subtle manner, and then we will give those things away.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't blame them.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
I don't even blame anybody but ourselves.
Okay. So we're on the same page. Okay. See, people in Africa and even many of us in diaspora will blame Europe and the West for the way Africa is. No, I don't. we need to get our acts together.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Right.
I agree because we need to stop playing the victimhood. Enough is enough.
Thank you, my sister. See, that's mine. That's me. I don't see as long as you continue playing victim, then we are going to be treated like victims.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
See, I can't even talk. See, I didn't expect to hear this from you.
Why?
because I've tried to talk to many of us who are here. Many are always talking about how the Africa was plundered. Give me a break. That was what happened to every other place.
Yeah.
Where the people were less knowledgeable than the people who come there.
Yeah.
That is what happened to every place.
Yeah.
In the world. So it's not only Africa. Every other place. North America, South America, every other place. Even in Europe, more educated Europeans plundered the land of less educated Europeans everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm happy you have this mindset.
Yeah, because that's the things, the mindset that we have. Yeah. That's the mindset that killing us. That's the mindset that, keeping us behind. And that mindset, how to change that mindset. Oh, I don't even know. Because, sometimes I say to myself, why do we always have to find an excuse for our lack of being, knowledgeable? Everything is on internet, on YouTube. Sometimes I used to joke when people ask me your degree. They say, well, I'm a diplomat or from YouTube and Google. You laugh, but that's funny, but it's true. You can find every single thing. Yes, you can be careful, but that's coming to your sense of, of seeing things in a different way. You need to know what is wrong, at least learn something, at least, do something. Don't be sitting around and always complaining, oh, I cannot do this, oh, I don't have money. No, we are all born equal with the same capacity to reflect and to think.
Thank you, my sister. See, one thing I've discovered, many of us in diaspora and many young Africans, because of this victim mentality, they have decided not to learn anything from the West.
Yeah.
And that is detrimental to us.
But it's bitterness as well. It's a shame because what else that, everything that we learn today has been created from human brain. Whatever that human is white or that human is yellow is something that, that light inside that brought us to share with the world.
And that's how the world has grown. Learn from here, learn from here, learn from here. You learn from the people who are above you in the hierarchy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
that's
the West is above us in hierarchy.
Yeah.
Okay. China today is seen as whatever, but China's development was learned by using the system that Europe has been using.
Do you know the things in Africa in the 1995, in the 90s, let's put it that way, in the 90s. Okay, I'm going to talk about Ivoire Coast because I know that fact. In the 90s, Ivoire Coast GDP was way higher. I think we were in a region of 60% than China.
Okay.
I promise you, in the 90s. Ivoire Coast has more, building than Dubai.
Okay.
we were developed compared to other country,
Yeah.
other cities, whatever.
And
But look at
we
today,
sat down and
China is
those
in
people.
the first in the world.
Okay.
Look at how Dubai is developing and
Okay.
whatever. So when you look at it and you ask yourself, but why are you still at the same position that we haven't moved?
Okay.
Where people come and pass, it's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way we're thinking. It's the way we don't want to develop, and we're always blaming, victimizing, and we don't want to work. We're lazy. A lot of, I don't say everybody, but the majority are lazy.
See,
They're just sitting,
I can assure
thinking
you
there is a God somewhere that can come and start to, draining money and easy life. Yeah, they believe in easy life.
Wow. I assure you that a lot of people.
And for me to comprehend that is beyond my wildest. How do we have that mindset? Like, this is crazy.
It's victimhood. Victimhood. That's just it. Victimhood is the mindset.
Yeah.
That has kept us here.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that many of us still buy into it. I'm afraid.
They say evolution is when we evolve, isn't it?
Yes.
We come from being, I don't know, we were from Homo sapiens, sapiens. Life is evolution, everybody evolve. But I don't think as African evolve.
No,
like sometimes
we have evolved.
Where are we fitting? Why? Like, I always try to understand our mindset, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a mindset. It's a mindset, and some people have used it to keep us where we are. And both Africans and external parties are using it to keep the majority of Africans where we are, that they can plunder and take away things.
Of course, I know people we said, we have colonization, we have slavery, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But those people, they use it as a business. Yeah. It's a business. Okay, put in a concept of business, an exchange. You're doing something to get something back. Do you understand? Yeah. So in a way where we as African, we have so many resources or whatever, but while we're doing it to protect it, to get something else from it, instead of other people coming and telling us, oh, well, this is how you should do this. Because we don't want to put on the work. We don't want to think. We don't want to work hard. Why the iron is from Africa? Why we don't building everything like cars? We don't have manufacturers for everything that come from Africa that go and build elsewhere and come back. Yeah. That's my things. You don't think we can teach young Africans how to be engineer? See, how Namy, to have manufacture where we can build our own cars.
See, this topic, we need to move on, because this topic, if we continue on this route, we can talk for 2 hours on this. yes. And
we need to change our mindset.
Yes, I'm happy.
We can do everything than anybody else in this world.
Yeah, I'm happy you have this mindset, because with this mindset, you are going to make this foundation work, and you'll be able to impact the people you work with.
Thank you.
Because this mindset is exactly what we need to change Africa. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We're trying, and I think we need to continue trying.
Good. So, you're a writer and reader of books.
Yeah.
Okay. See, like we talked about, education is the key. Okay. To our development.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are a publisher, an author. Tell us about the books that you have published and authored.
Well, I think it was during lockdown. I was getting bored, And because my brain doesn't, rest, it's always trying to do something, get busy. So I started writing the yoga teacher because I was doing a lot of yoga at the time.
Okay.
So my first book was a short story book, fictional,
Okay.
and I did the yoga teacher. It was about a yoga teacher, but has a different twist in a book. So it's an Amazon Kindle.
Wow.
So people can just go and read it, and I'll get my royalties or whatever. So all of my book I just put as a digital on Amazon Kindle Fire. So they are there. And I did the second one was about crossing. So I entitled it The Crossing. So the crossing was about most of African that was crossing the Mediterranean to come to England.
Okay. Wow.
And I was questioning myself on, how and why, kind of that question of always trying to figure out. But the fact is, as a human, we always get how can I say, blurred by the lifestyle of what we're seeing on social media, on TV. But the reality is, you'll never get the full picture of what you see. So you're not taking only one-sided things and jump into the sea thinking, well, this is the kind of lifestyle I'm gonna go and live. And putting yourself at risk. And why as well we're doing this, because we don't believe that we're able to build those kind of lifestyle ourselves. That lack of trust and confidence in ourselves, that brought us to go and kill ourselves, put our family and to turmoil like that, because it's at the end of the day, it all comes back to us. To our capability of seeing what we're capable of doing or not. And the lack of confidence, the lack of trust, we have so many issues that we need to work on. That's why I'm thinking, we need to just sit and just say, okay, maybe we should take a different approach here. And try to do things differently than the past 100 years or 200 years that we've been doing. We need to do things differently.
So
believe ourselves more, trust ourselves more.
That we definitely need to do that. We definitely need to do that.
So that was the second book, and it's as well on Amazon. And the third book was the book I wrote for my daughter as a Christmas gift last year. It was a gift to Marie Brielle. So it was a story about a little girl that was dreaming about wanting a different way of life. And she manifested a desire, and she got everything she wanted, just to say to people that, well, whatever we want to do and we want to have in life, we should just think and we'll have it. We should thought about it, think about it, work and not towards it, and it will come. And believe more the process of trusting ourselves, of doing everything that we want to achieve. So it was a kind of like a book. So I worked with her, and she loved it. And it's a kid's story book as well. It's short. People can have it as a bedtime story as well. For the kids, it's about hope and give confidence to children as well.
Very good.
Because I think this is where we need to start. We the younger generation, reprogram ourselves, reprogram our mindsets, and the way we've been learning things in school about being the victim and always kind of, I think the school system need to change a wee bit of how we now portray ourselves, show ourselves, and so it's all come back to us again to do that.
Yes. Very good. Very good. I encourage people to read, and unlike you have managed to author 3 books in about 3-4 years.
2 years, 3 books.
I have been trying to write a couple of books. I'm doing them simultaneously, but mine are not fiction. They are actually non-fiction.
Okay.
And that requires me to read a lot of other books.
Yeah.
So that's been a challenge.
Yeah.
You know, I'm reading a lot of books, a lot of books, and the more I read, the more books I discover, and then I had to read them too. So I'm going to get there in a few years.
Okay. That's good. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love reading as well. I'm always reading a book. I'm always, I need to occupy my mind. So book is a way I get lost in books. I find myself in a book sometime when I'm reading it. So I like it. I really love reading. It's really important. And this is one thing as well. We don't read as African.
We don't, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't read, and that's a bigger issue because there's a lot of knowledge. When you start reading, then you start having like an open mind, and then you start understanding. But you know, we need to start as well.
Yeah.
You know, raising awareness about reading, the importance of it. That's what I do as well with the foundation and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So for me, I used to, in my younger days, I read maybe 99% fiction books. In the last 10 years, I've only read non-fiction books. Okay, not only. I've read maybe maximum of 5 to 6 fiction books, but I've read maybe 300 books, non-fiction books, and that's
like personal development, personal growth.
Economics,
in fact, economics, politics.
In the last 2 years, I've read at least 30 economics books, because until then I didn't actually read economic books, but I've now started reading, and I discovered a gentleman who I consider a genius, Thomas Sowell. Oh my God, Thomas Sowell is a genius, and a man that I found on YouTube. And the first time I listened to him, I hated him. I mean, I'm telling you, I hated him, because he wasn't saying the things I was used to. Okay, I hated him, but because I'm a curious person, I decided, after listening to him 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I decided to get a book. Okay, because whenever I hear somebody, I tend to get the books. So I got one of his books called Wealth, Poverty, and Politics. Now, I got the book, but it took me another 6 months to even open it. Like, yeah. And then after I opened it, read the book, I got the next book. Now I have in my library maybe nearly 20 of his books.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've read 15 of them.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, in the last 2 years, and
that's good.
And I now discovered that for me, I recommend his books to anyone.
Okay.
Thomas.
What is his name?
Thomas Sowell, Sollell. Thomas Sowell. And if you read his books, you will discover all the nonsense that you have been taught.
Yeah.
See, I have discovered too much nonsense that I used to believe in. And these are the things that a lot of Africans need to read.
Yeah.
To change a mindset.
The mindset. Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas Sowell is the man. He is the man. All right.
Thomas Sowell.
Thomas Sowell. Yes. Yeah. Just read on. Just read one. Just read one.
Yeah. I'll check them. I'll check that out.
Good.
No problem. Thank you for sharing that,
Good. Now I know you have mentioned some of this, but then let's dig into it. What is your biggest concerns about African development in the 21st century? Why, and any advice or solutions?
Well, I think our leader, I think it's leadership. My bigger concern is the lack of leadership and accountability and responsibility in within our leaders, because they are the one that keeping us, to be honest, behind. Let's put it that way. For me, I would generalize. I'm not gonna say
I do too.
So for me, this is the things. So if we have like a good leaders that can take us forwards and with good minds, because all of our leaders, look, they're all part of the colonization and all those past, they're all that generation of same mindset, whatever. We have to be submissive, we have to do as we told, and like we cannot even put our own pants on, somebody else have to come and put your pants on for you. Those kind of thing. I think as a moment in life, you have to say, no, I want to put my own pants. Thank you. I want to choose what color I want to wear. I want to choose that shirt, and I will take consequences of whatever is going to be good or bad. But we have to be free, because people say the word Africa is an independent country. We're not independent. We're not. We're still under colonization, under the whole, I think, is a cover-up of freedom, that we have the glimpses of, independence, you're free. But if you see the second layer of it, it's not freedom. It's not. We're not. So I want us as African, the African Union, that's where I'm going to point it out, the African Union, to be a little bit decisive, a little bit, I don't know what words to use, but have a bold to stand out and say, enough is enough. Leave us do our own things. If we make mistake, we make mistakes. Mistake.
Okay. All right. Yes, I do.
So for me, this is the big things, and I'm waiting for that day to happen. And I know it's gonna happen, but when? Let's say be soon. I want to see it. I want to see that.
Yeah. So I do agree that leadership is a big issue. Okay, it's a big issue. And also I say this. If you look at, I don't know about your country, but mine, anybody who is 40 years old and under have never seen a Nigeria that works. Everybody in that country under the age of 40 has never seen a Nigeria that works. Never.
So you see, this is what I'm talking about. So I think
think about it.
Yeah.
We have a very young population of people who have never seen the country work at all. Okay. So I say that my generation, who were opportune to see some things, okay, we're opportune to see some things that worked. But unfortunately, people like me, myself, and other people were not, didn't do our own bit.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that people like myself didn't do our own bit, because at least we saw a section of the country that worked. Many of us left politics. I never voted in Nigeria. That's my fault.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I never voted one. And people like me didn't get involved in politics. So I'm saying that my generation didn't do a good job. Okay. So I blame, yes, the government, people in government who are doing a bad job, and people of my generation are competent. Okay, because most of us didn't do our own bit to help promote good governance.
Yeah.
So I apologize on my behalf and on behalf of my generation to the younger generation for being bad citizens. Yeah.
Well, we all make mistakes in life. Life is a learning curve. I said every day is a learning way.
Yeah.
If we do things, in the past that it didn't work, we need to look at, okay, why it didn't work? What was the problem? And we learn from it and try to correct it.
Yeah.
And make a better decision and moving forward. And a lot of, us in Africa, we seem to not understand that concept of moving forward in a way of correcting. I think we're dragging the part with we're like we're moving with it, like we're dragging. Look at Cameroon.
Yeah.
With Paul Biya. So does that mean a person that was born 40 years ago known only that one man?
Only one man. Yeah. Okay.
So
that's an
how
example.
that person can have a mindset that say, oh, I need to be like an entrepreneur, to do this. Have a different mindset. Because for me, this is like what that teach that person. Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, wow. This is one of the reasons that I was talking about leadership.
Yeah. And there's so many of them across the continent. Okay. Now, let's deal with this. But I would say, let me see this, if you get this. The only president on the continent I consider at this moment that is doing a good job has been in power for over 2 decades. But yet, if I ask every other long-serving leader to leave, I will not ask him to leave. Who is that?
Oh, it's in which part of Africa, if you can direct me? North, south, west, east, center?
East Central.
Central. Paul Kagame? You're talking about Paul Kagame.
Okay. See, you get it. Okay. He has been serving for 2 decades. Yet, if we ask other long-serving leaders to leave, we won't ask him to leave.
Well, in a way of, because you get one leader that is good, so you don't want him to leave.
Okay.
It doesn't give justice to other in a way that we want to be moving, where we want to be learning about mistakes and things like that.
Yeah.
Everybody need to have a shot. Whatever Kagame has learned or the way he has brought the country that way, I'm sure somebody will be inspired to come and bring that forward. In a way, and apport a different view of every single one of us has a different way of doing things. But in a way, we're all part of this universe where we all bring something. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't agree with, because one person is good, it should stay there.
No. See, now this is not my intention to say it should stay there all his life. Okay, it's not a monarchy. Okay. Democracy is not a monarchy. Okay. Now, but my point is this: we need to revisit the notion of democracy. Okay, in a way that works for us. Okay. Now, see, this is something we actually need to discuss in Africa. Okay. We don't need to do democracy exactly the way the West has done it.
No, we don't. We can even put 10 years. That would be 20 years.
Good. We can do that. But see, that's what I'm saying.
You know, out for 40 at least.
So yes, I agree that we don't want one person, because if we allow one person to rule, eventually when that person leaves, the country may go backwards. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, it is possible. So it's good for Mr. Paul Kagame to think about, hey, moving forward, while he's still young, okay, while he's still young, for him to ease himself out and someone else to take over.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something we need to.
Yeah, because I think that's the things. I think in other country, you'll see they're bringing 5 years or 7 years, either way. The same in Africa, that's not long enough because people always fight. They want to stay forever, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's why I came to a conclusion. Okay, maybe you can have your 20 years. You can have 10 years and after 10 years.
No,
at the end of the day,
below 20 years.
Below 40, yeah. So at the end of the day, you're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
At the time you're 60 or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because if they say, well, you're 40,
in fact,
70s, you can, you know, at least you did that. You had your fair time of share, whatever you wanted to do, you did it. Fine. And you can go by every time changing constitution, doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help.
Yeah, it doesn't. It
doesn't help. We need to stick to, you know, what we all believe, what the law is in the country, whatever that law is coming from, whatever colonizer or whatever, we have to stick to it and follow through. Respect need to start for ourselves in the country first before we can demand other people to respect us.
Very good. Very good. This is another subject I don't want to get into, because many people get angry with my own observation. We need to earn respect.
Yeah, we need to earn
respect.
Yeah.
So when it comes to governance, one thing I after observing all those old leaders in power for donkey's years, and the young population of our continent, I've come to the conclusion, this is my own personal conclusion, that we don't need anybody who is older than 55 to run for executive office for the first time, so that even if he wins first time, second time, at least he will still be, by the time he leaves office, he will still be below 70. Because we have too many old people running a continent that has the youngest population.
Yeah, because like if in Ivory Coast like that, in our constitution, you have to be 45. No, you have to be 40 to, you know, run for presidency.
Okay, yeah, so, I agree, because we need somebody who is mature.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, I'm thinking, well, why you have to put an age in it? You can, why don't you say 30? 30 as some.
No, see,
people are 30 as well.
I will tell you something. The first group of military leaders of the continent were all in their 30s.
Yeah.
And if you check it, they are the same people who ruled as officers, and then they shared their uniforms, and many of those people are still ruling the continent today. so we have leadership issues, and it's important that it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing, but yes, you are correct. It's one of the main issue we have in our continent.
Leadership is a big key for developing a country, and well, let's see what the next generation will bring. I'm optimistic, and I'm hoping that, as nobody is gonna be here forever, things will change, but I hope the mentality will change with it. That's my biggest concern as well.
Good. So talking about nobody will live forever, okay, and we need other people to chip in their own bits to develop the continent. So what kind of advice would you give young Africans for them to be able to chip in their little bits to develop their continent and their community?
Yeah, I think the younger generation, because this is what's gonna come down to. The continent will stay in the hand of the younger generation, and how those younger generation going to shift their mindset and mentality and leadership will determine how Africa will move forward.
Yes,
that's the key. So for me, the key is mindset. We need to start thinking otherwise. We need to start stopping about, the blaming game, and, always trying the blaming game, always trying to put the fault to somebody else instead of ourselves, trying to figure out how we can help each other. And we need to help each other. We need to be united. We're not united in Africa. This is a big thing as well. So all those little things, we need to start working on it.
Yeah.
That's my big thing. United. We need to be united. Like one big, we need to be united.
Yeah.
When we're united and we had one common goal of moving forward with Africa and all our economy, all our resources, be more conscious about what we have as an African nation that we can use to fructify, to grow with it and help. So like the other generation that will come, we say, well, there were that generation that shift everything, that change everything for today African stuff. So it's just come down to mindset, united, kindness, compassion, and empathy, all those things.
Well, those things are very important. So Namy, let's end this. Let's end this. My last question is, what's your vision for Africa in the next 30 years?
I'm hoping that we'll move a little bit, further. Like, I'm hoping that we can have a little bit of those technology that we have here in Europe. Like one thing that I'm really missing in Africa is, you see, the system of Amazon postcode. We don't have that postcodes. I don't know in Nigeria, but
we don't have it. No.
So my question is, why none of the leaders?
These things are so simple. So simple. Yeah.
For me, this is the major thing.
It's organization.
Organization. Yes. When you had postcode and stuff, the economy will go
boom. Yeah. Postcode. Something that's simple.
For me, I'm always thinking, why don't we have a postcode or addresses? Like, And it's so simple with technology now to get that.
Yeah.
But you go everywhere in Africa. Maybe in South Africa, they're okay. I'm not sure. But in West Africa, generally, there is. I'm like, what's going
See,
on?
I think it's political, because when we have organized postcode, that means a house is identifiable. Okay.
Of course, we
hold
need
on, hold on, hold on,
security.
hold on. You hear this? House is identifiable, and then the next level is that the number of people who live there are identifiable.
Of course.
Hold on. Some people do not want everybody to know this house houses 30 people, because they like to tell the world that house houses 100 people when it's time for politics. Okay, they want everybody to think this house houses 100 people, so that they will use the number to rig elections and to get more funding for government. So the more houses are not identifiable, the more the census number is not
well,
standard.
For me, I think it's maybe that's the opinion, and maybe it's that. But for me, I don't see any reason why we cannot have that.
In Nigeria, this has been one of the 60-year-old problem of census. Okay, this has been a big deal. Census. Okay, people want to use the numbers for resources, resource allocation.
So that means as African, we don't want to move forward. We always
that's the point. That is the point. See, that people.
So yeah, so in 30 years, I'm hoping that we're gonna solve those little problems that can be solved within 2-3 years, so we can move forward with economy.
Yes, we need it. So we need to convince those people that, hey, once we get this right,
it's the leader.
We can actually
leadership.
See. We need to tell them. See, once we get this right, you can even actually get more money.
At the end of the day, come to this leadership.
Yeah, that's it.
So I hope that we get better leaders for future Africans.
Yes, me too. Namy, it's been a very interesting.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a really, really good, enjoyable conversation we had about Africa, and hopefully we'll see a better change.
All right. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.